I'm in the library module in the loop view. If I go from image to image, it goes much faster. There's no delay time when I'm in the library module. If I go to the develop module and I try to go from image to image, right here it's pretty quick, but in very recent times there has been a fair lag, and I just don't like waiting. When I'm trying to do an edit, I'm trying to move through pretty quickly. Not that I want to gloss over an edit, but I try to do it in the most efficient manner possible so that I can spend less time at the computer. So I found that my preference is to be doing most of my edit in the library module, and I'm usually in loop view. And if I can go through and just quickly, I'm arrowing through, and I can have it set so that my cursor is hovering over this exposure arrow. In this section, these arrows, the single arrows are, for exposure, they're one third of a stop, and the double arrows are a full stop. And it's a sort of equal increments based on these other selections as well. But if I'm going through an edit, I can go through, I can arrow through, I can keep one hand over my touchpad while that cursor is over the exposure, the up arrow, if that's seems to be my current issue for these images. And I can move through, and also one finger is over the X key, because in going through as quickly as possible, I want to have as few keystrokes as possible. So if I'm doing a wedding, and I say I shot 1,000 images, it's easier for me to go through and click the X key maybe 200 times than it is the P key 800 times. All right, so basically I'm trying to get through the day as quickly as possible, and I'm going through and I'm marking things. If I hit the X key now, you see it pops up as a reject. And then I'll go through again, and okay, that's blown. I hit the X key again, and I go through the entire job like that. And I also have my filter bar set. I go down here to this lower filter bar that I was telling you about. If you click on it once, it activates the filters. And the second time, if you haven't turned it on, the first time it'll activate, and the second time it'll actually turn it on. Right now it gives you a little hint. It says no photos selected. I have 2 stars on. I don't want that rating on. I want no filters. When I go through now, if I click this middle one down here with the flags, the left is a pick, which means show me all picks. The middle is show me the unflagged, and the right are the rejects. Right now I want only unflagged, so I'm gonna click on that, and we have unflagged photos. So for example, when I'm on this image and I tap on the X key, it's going to disappear. It was given the flag, the X flag, the reject flag, and I move on to the next image. It's a quick way to get from image to image. And when I'm done with my edit, I go back to the grid mode, hit the G key, I turn off this flag for the unflagged, because I want to see everything. There are no filters. And then what I would do is I would click on the flag for the rejects. So I'm only looking at my, say, roughly 200 rejects from a wedding. And what I would do then is, it's pulling up all the rejected images. And now I do a Command A or Control A to select all, because all but one of them are grayed out before. So I quickly scroll through and make sure, yes, these are all ones I want to get rid of. And then I would do the delete key, the / key. And you have a couple of options here. I usually select this one. Do you want to delete the master photos from disk, or do you want to remove them from Lightroom? If they are rejects, I want them removed from my computer. I don't want them taking any space. If you click on remove, which is the default, it's going to remove them from Lightroom. Lightroom's not going to keep track of them anymore, but they are still sitting on your computer taking up space. So I would normally hit this delete from disk, and then they're they're gone. Okay, so that is a quick way to do that. And so once I'm not going to do it right now because I want to keep these images here, but once I do that, they are no longer present. And so all I have left are my unflagged images. They would all be unflagged because I only flagged the deleted or the rejects, and I got rid of them. I would take whatever I have left and I do the select all, the Command A or the Control A, and then that's when I would renumber them as the wedding, the way I'm going to hand it over before getting proofs made or before posting it online or handing it over to the studio. And that's, I find, the most efficient way to get through the edit. So when I'm doing stuff in, let's just go back here. I'm gonna, in the U key, you're gonna see me just to get out of here. U key is unflagged, so the 3 that are highlighted are gonna have those delete flags removed. And I'm gonna go to loop view again. You can play with the exposure in the loop view. This basic panel here, everything that's here is available in the develop module as sliders. I find it more efficient to be able to just tap an exposure increment and have it change by that much, or hit it twice, or if I know it needs to go a lot, then I would hit the full stop key. It's just faster for me to do that than to actually manually move the cursor over the slider and drag the slider in the develop module. So when you add that factor plus this sometimes slower factor for loading an image in an older computer, I just find it easier to do most of my edits in the library module in loop view.